Stu here with Raid Shadow Legends to go over Bystophus, and I'm going to tell you right away, I am not impressed with this champion. Yes, he can do a lot of damage, and he can actually do some cool debuffs, but for beginners out there, if you get this guy, and this is the only champion you have on your account, and you want to use him to progress, you can, but you need to make him super tanky, forget about damage, and just use his aura right here for this accuracy, because you need that coming up in the game. You don't have banners. It's really hard to get banners. You want to go through Dragon. You need that accuracy, and then you want to make sure you get this skill cooldowns debuff up and the decreased defense debuff up. So if you're going to put books into him, if you're new to the game, you just got to make him as tanky as possible. Forget about damage whatsoever. You're going to use him for the aura. You're going to use him for the debuffs here, the debuffs on the A1, and then of course he's going to do damage and heal himself back here on the A2. Right? Always going to heal himself by 20% of the damage done. Will also critical hit if there is a block cooldown skill debuff. So you don't have to worry about getting, high crit rate on him. Plus you're not going to have that kind of gear in the beginning. The issue is his HP is low and his defense is low. His defense is very low. So you're going to have to put a lot of stuff into him to make him fast enough, right? So you can get all those debuffs up, but then make him really tanky so that that's his main job. Right? That's what you want for him when you're first coming up in the game, and even toward end game if you still need that help, if you still need that accuracy help, if you still need all these debuffs and you want to make sure this guy stays alive, that is how you want to build him so he won't be targeted. Now, taking him through as an in-game player, does he do a lot? He does, and he's really good versus waves. But again, just like any kind of damage-based champion, once we get to the boss, they fall short. There's really no role for them. The role that we have for him right here is to give us our decreased defense. We don't have anybody else on the team to give us our decreased defense, so we're hoping for that. We got super lucky, and we got it up on everybody. We do have an 80% chance on each of those debuffs to get it up. And then once he comes back around, he's going to do his AoE. The problem I'm seeing is that right then, he did his A1. He didn't do his AoE afterwards. He did the A3 to drop everything down, and then he will not do his AoE A2, which is really weird. You just saw him do his A1, and he was at low life where it would have healed himself back up. Look, it's off cooldown. He would have done that last turn. Look at his little dance. Look at that shimmy he's doing right there. Nobody else is moving around but him. He's ready to go. So look, I'll put it on auto, still doing his A1. So again, we get another champion that's really cool, that has somewhat stuff going for him, but the AI is so botched with this game with so many champions that he's not working how he should. So he should have healed himself back up fully. We would have been good to go through these rounds and to keep applying all these debuffs, which is what I would use him for. But an in-game robust roster again, right? If you have a robust roster, you would probably use other champions. Now, there is no doubt that this guy is very good getting through the waves and can do a mass amount of damage. I know that. But there are a lot of champions out there that can help you with that. War Maiden can give me the AoE decreased defense on a 3-turn cooldown. She's a rare. I don't have to worry about all those legendary books. He costs quite a lot. But he does bring the block skill cooldowns, the A1, the self-heal on the A2 when he'll do it. I don't know when he's going to do it. Whenever he'll do it. So there's that going for him. And really, the lead, the aura lead. The 70 to accuracy is insane. That's really good to have. A lot of people need that coming up in the game. You just need to make him super tanky for you. Don't try to make him a DPS machine. Now, I would like to make him my main DPSer in here. Like, we get rid of Seer. I think this is actually not the right Seer, too. It's a slower Seer. We get rid of Seer. He comes in here. He is my main debuffer for decreased defense, but only at an 80% chance. And you don't really want to, if you're an in-game player trying to do speed runs through here, you don't want to bet on 80% chance at a 4-turn cooldown. That means when we come up here, I would much rather have Stagnite. Stagnite is an epic, and to me, is far better than this champion. Can do almost just as much damage, I feel like, but brings the debuffs, the multi-hits that I need. If this guy had multi-hit on his A1 or, some other reason for me to bring him in here. Now, like I already said, he can help you out. He can definitely help you out. Let's find Stagnite while we're talking about him. Throw him in here. See how these guys function together with Stagnite dropping down everything, and then there he is. And then Bystophus doing the big hits. Let's see if we can get Bystophus to do his A2 this time. So we're going to have Stagnite, I think, before him right now. Good. We got the big hit, right? Locked out a lot of people so they can't really hurt us. That's what we want. And I would love for Bystophus to be here. So he did do his A2 then. I don't know why. Maybe everybody has to have a decreased defense up for him to do his A2 or some other kind of weird reason. But he did it that time. He got the life back to keep him alive. Plus, we have Blind Seer in here. So I'm bringing him in now as my main DPSer, along with side of debuffs that he's going to bring to the table. And again, I feel like if you're struggling, if you are a struggling player and you need that accuracy and you need somebody to do debuffs to help you get through these waves, not the boss. Once you get to the boss, you need a plan. You need that allure in here to keep down the turn meter. You need a way that once you get to the boss, you know you're going to beat it because he doesn't have multi-hit. Now say we're going into Dragon with him, Dragon 20, and we're bringing him in there to get through the waves. Sure, we can get through the waves. He's going to lock them up. That's great. He's going to heal himself back. Okay. We'll try to make him tanky enough so that he's not targeted, or we'll bring in somebody like Blind Seer to make sure everybody gets back to life. But then, when we get to the Dragon, it's the same scenario, same situation. 80% chance with Sniper in the support mastery to get that decreased defense on a 4-turn cooldown. You don't want to bet on that. You never want to wait on that, and then your runs are so much longer unless he's like the only legendary you have and you want to use those kind of books. Again, you can farm War Maiden 24/7, 3-turn cooldown, AoE decreased defense. She can do a good amount of damage as well. Zargala's out there too. I almost prefer War Maiden because it's on a 3-turn cooldown, especially when you get to the boss in situations like this. You've got Stag Knight with a 3-turn cooldown right here for this guy, which is amazing, everything that Stag Knight can do. So he is hard for me to want to love. Even though on paper, when I look at everything he can do, he has an amazing kit. To be able to block out. Now, if I'm going to use this guy in Knights Revenant Faction Wars, that's going to be pretty sweet. He's going to lock those waves out. This is going to be very handy. Although he's forced going up against, I'm not sure on Knights Revenant, do we go up against the Martyrs and the Valkyries? If we do, then that's so much spirit that it's not actually going to be great. Because he probably won't get these debuffs up as often. And again, we have an 80% chance. He's going to come through here with this and then the A1 as well. So again, he looks great, man. He's got a lot of stuff going for him. This A1, this aura is fantastic. Low defense, though, and low HP, so it makes it harder for me to use him as like a debuffer that I want to, because as far as a DPSer, I don't really have to have him in that fashion. I don't need that. But as far as a wave clearer to go in there and lock up the waves and make it to where they can't really hurt us and decrease defense, I like that about him. And I like this one, too. And I like that he can heal himself here and also crit without having to worry about a whole bunch of crit rate on him. So you can make him tanky in that fashion, or you could just go make him a super big hard hitter. And I've taken him into arena, and what happened was he doesn't have the multi-hit in arena. I used this after I used Madam, and it was just like any other kind of DPSer. And if I didn't use Madam, if I used him, then I had like this, they would have buffs up or whatever else that he doesn't take off, obviously. Madam would, and then he would try to put up the decreased defense and try to lock out their skills. And then I would need to come back around to even do more damage because we didn't do Madam first. It just, you know, it's hard for me to want to use this guy because I have a big roster. And the ways that I've explained it already talks about somebody coming up in the game who needs this type of champion. And then even at in-game, if you need this type of champion, and maybe in the tower, going through waves, we can use this. But there are a lot of champions nowadays that can kind of lock up the other team. Turn meter reduction or freeze them, stun them, you know, do things like that to them. So this one is a hard sell, but let me know. I've blabbled too much. The thing is, I'm really just not that excited. He looks great on paper. I try to use him in everything I can in the game. I didn't just run Fire Knight. I ran him through a lot of other stuff. I didn't put him at 400 critical damage like I could, like Ithos, if I wanted to do mass amount of damage, just because I don't see me even using him in that fashion. I just don't see me using him at all. But let me know what your thought is with Bystophus. Are you using him? Are you loving him? And where do you use him the most? What kind of team composition are you using him in? Let us know, please. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all on a video soon.